Friends, we saw how the program freezed the system. The system got freezed. The program got freezed actually. We were not able to restart the application because of the while loop. So you should be very careful. You should not use an infinite loop. You should be very careful how to terminate the loop using some statements or some. Most of the times using a statement you can do it. So in this video we'll see more examples. So be very careful with the infinite loops. So we'll see the second example. So here I want to do a sum of n numbers. We already seen this with the for loop. I want you to show the same thing can be done with the while loop. So whatever you can do with the for loop can be done with the while loop, and whatever you do with the while loop can be done with the for loop. So here we have declared three variables, sum, I and n. Sum is equal to 0. We have initialized it to 0. We have I. We'll take I as a loop variable, n as the value. The user enters a value for n. So we say enter a value, and then user enters. We'll take it inside the n variable. Now we initialize I is equal to, so this is important. We have to initialize whatever the variable we are using for while loop. So we have to initialize it before the while loop. So now 0 less than n, if the user enters 3, so 0 less than equal to 3 is true. So sum is equal to 0 is equal to 0 plus 0 will be 0, and I increments to 1. Again it goes here and check the condition 1 less than 3. So 1, this time 1 plus 0, sum becomes 1 and it increments to 2. So this way we already seen how this logic works in the for loop. So we'll execute the same thing here. We'll see. We'll do Alt F9. We'll do Control F9. So this time I'll enter a value, say 5. So we get 15 as output. We'll do Control F9. If I enter 10, I get 55 as output. So this way we can add all the numbers up to n, sum of n numbers. So I already explained this logic, how to check what's happening in the loop. You can just print the values of sum and I inside the loop. Now we'll see a third example. So the reverse number, we already done with the for loop. So we'll see again how to do with the while loop. So it's very similar. So I don't have to put a semicolon here. Okay. So this is a similar logic, no change in the logic. I have to put star 10. Okay. I've explained the logic in the for video. You can go back and check what's the actual logic. So we can do whatever we have done with the for loop. We can do the same thing using while loop. I'll do Control F9. Okay. We need to do Alt F9 and Control F9, but when you do Control F9, it does both things. It does Alt F9 and Control F9. So we enter a number, I'll say 5, 6, 7, and say enter. This is 7, 6, 5. So this is the reverse logic, and if you want sum of all the digits, you remove this portion and save, and you do Control F9 or Alt F9 and Control F9. Now if I enter 1, 2, 3, 4, it gives sum of all the digits. Okay. So whatever you do in a for loop, you can do it with the while loop. So there's no difference in two of the loops. While is used mainly when we don't know what is the number of executions, so how many iterations takes place. So for loop is used whenever we know exact number of times we want to execute the loop. For example, if we want to execute 10 times, 20 times, we can use the for loop. While can be used so whenever we don't know how many times the loop's going to be executed. Again, you can use it for both purposes. It's not that it's restricted, but most of the times how it is used. I'm explaining you just why it is used. While is used whenever some situation occurs. We don't know when it's gonna occur, at which iteration, which time of execution. So that time the while loop is used. Most of the time in the industry, the electronic devices or the electronic measurement instruments use this program. So it will be checking for some temperature. So it keeps on checking for some temperature. Whether this temperature is greater than those, then switch off the machine. So if the temperature is less than this, switch off the machine. So this logic is used in electronic instruments, for example, AC, uh, or microwave oven. So these devices use such while loop logics. So you can use according to your wish. Again, the programmer has a choice. You can be a very good programmer. So it's not that somebody teaches you, he will be a good programmer. You can become a very good programmer than a person who teaches you. For example, if you don't know C and I know a little bit of C, and you can become a master in C later. So everyone uses their own logic. You can use their own logic and uh, get a better program than the person who teaches you. So we'll saw a few examples of while loop in this video. So we'll see what is do while loop in the next video. Thank you for watching this video.